Welcome back to Chaotic Exposure. It's our episode 26. We have Mr. Chris Vaughn, guest co-hosting with us today.
Yeah.
Think he's our favorite to bring on. Chris has taken Neil from us for a little bit.
Is in my basement for a while. It's too good to be here. I need to lock him down just for a while. While it's too awesome, and the internet is not ready for that amount of awesome. So I put him on the basement. I give him water, biscuits. He's fine. He's on a biscuits diet, and I'm just gonna try to. It's too awesome to be here. So we need just a little bit. It's gonna be a little bit resting and leave a little bit of awesome to us as well.
Yeah, we need to take down the
Then
awesomeness.
I can send an address for biscuits. He eats a lot. Like if you guys want to help.
It's a donate biscuit fund for Neil and Chris's basement. I'm sure we could start
Yeah.
that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Did you feed him today?
I feed him every 30 minutes. He becomes erratic when.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Half a cookie for
Half a cookie.
30 minutes.
That's a lot of food. You're gonna make him chunky
Yeah.
every 30 minutes.
No, he's fine.
Hopefully
You
he
guys
grows
are-
a butt.
Oh, he needs to grow a butt. Well, he always talked about not having a butt, and then when we saw it in New York, like in real action, I was like, okay, you actually made it sound like you had a little bit more than what you have, and there is nothing there. When he put that bottle of whiskey in the back pocket, I was so
my God.
scared for his pants. I thought those puppies were going down.
Well, I pinched everyone's butt. Oh, instead of whiskey, so I didn't do that. But I pinched Chris's butt, and then I tried to pinch Neil's. I couldn't get it.
There's nothing there.
There was nothing there.
The long lost butt. If you guys
Poor
find
guy.
a butt, I can send you a dress as well.
I'll send it to Neil.
Oh my god!
I
Are you
think-
drinking that? Wait! Are you drinking that crap again?
Kombucha?
Oh no!
Yeah.
He drinks it every week almost. I can like smell it from here. That stuff is nasty.
I love it.
That thing is nasty. I can't believe I was walking around with one of those for like an hour, and I didn't want to throw it away, so I had to actually drink it. So
Ooh.
like,
That was your fault. I told you to drink it first before it gets hot. You drank it when it was like boiling.
Gross.
oh, it didn't help, bro. It was the flavor was still there, but I commend you for drinking that. But they always say, right, the worse it tastes, the better it does for you.
Yeah.
That shit must do miracles to you, man.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it.
So why don't I see like a shot of something in front of you guys? I have mine here.
Oh.
Or you guys want today because of memory? Like we're not gonna have a shot today.
Yeah, we didn't get our shots today. I actually just have a LaCroix trying to hydrate because I'm drinking too much right now.
No, you don't.
I think it's a little rude, by the way, that when the three of us have calls, that you guys first ask if I've eaten today before we continue on with conversations. You both do it, whether it's text or voice chat or whatever. You guys constantly, whenever there's a call that needs to happen or a conversation, one of you says, "Did you eat today?" Because you don't want to deal with hangry whiskey.
Yeah.
We are smart. Dragon is a smart guy. You know, we catch the tells, right? Like we don't play with fire, right? You get burned. Like we like nice whiskey. Nice whiskey is it's all right. Morning whiskey,
Sorry.
and it's not good. It's not
Morning
good at all.
whiskey's scary.
Yeah, you can't give any GMs to whiskey. Like in the morning, you gotta ask first that if she ate, and then she gets her GM.
Well, at least you guys know.
I sent her a DM today. Like, have you eaten? Say, yeah, I had like a donut. I was
He
like,
yelled at me for eating a donut. I had like
why did
one
you-
donut. He's like, "Why are
Yeah.
you eating a donut?" That's not
Yeah, I
good.
said eat healthy, and she's like, "Fuck salad, bro."
What kind of donut was it?
It was like um, it had chocolate icing and then it was like cream filled, which I'm not really a big fan of, but the
Yeah.
place that's around here is really good. So I had one of those because I was out and it was convenient. And I figured it's better for me to eat something before recording with you guys. And instead, Chris gave me shit for eating a donut. And then he tells me to eat a taco because a taco is better than eating a donut for breakfast. It just makes no sense.
Did you at
Yeah,
least have a chai?
No, I haven't had any coffee today.
Oh my,
It was
I don't know how you
dangerous.
survive.
I
just
don't know.
grab one of those leaves on your side, that tree, and just add some, just like a koala. Grab it, and that would be hilarious, right, Dragon?
Yeah.
just one.
That's
Oh.
terrible. You just make me eat leaves all the time.
So this week you won on poker?
Yeah. Which is kind of funny because I offered up a misfit to the winner. And typically when I offer prizes, I go all in at some point just to be done with it. Because if there's not enough people to like play, it won't let you play. So I try to
Yeah.
like sign up if there's not enough people just so that we can start playing. But I actually tried this time to win, but not to keep my misfit, just to try to win. And you guys are surprisingly, like you're surprised at how I won. That seems
No.
rude.
I'm not surprised. Did you beat
Dragon's smiling.
I'm only surprised because you never try. So
She tried
Yeah.
once and she won.
that's why.
Who did you beat? Heads up.
D-Flow. I think my best one was when Bearded's gonna be pissed when he listens to this, but
Oh yeah, please do.
I went I went all in because I was like, you know what? I want to be done. I want to take a shower and be done. So I went all in, and Bearded went all in, and somebody else, I want to say it was Caleb or somebody, maybe I'm wrong, but both of them went all in at the same time just because I wanted to go take a shower. And I took like 100,000 chips from them and they both went out, and I felt a little bad for like 2 seconds, and then it felt really good to knock them out. And then I think it was D-Flow was left, me and him, and then he went all in, so I just went ahead and
You
finished
just
him off.
crushed the boys. Did Bernard he talked trash after?
He talked a little trash about what my cards were. But he was proud because I think he knocked you out. But I feel like you went all in because you needed to go, right?
Sure, why not?
We'll go with that
I
theory.
did, I did, I did. I actually had I think I had a pretty good end. He called me with nothing on the flop. Like he likes to talk shit to people. I think I had like a three of a kind of something, and he called me with nothing. And then of course he hit his miracle card on the river. Right, Bearded?
Bearded and his poker. He does talk a lot of shit whenever we start.
Yeah.
He actually said something like, just go ahead and send me the misfit. He was super cocky that night, so it actually felt really good to take him out.
Talking about misfits, can I address an issue I'm having today?
I don't do complaints for misfits. There's a channel for that, and I have it muted.
It's not a complaint for the misfits.
Okay.
It's a complaint for the individual. That yeah, I want to complain about something. I want to complain how I know the meaning, but how the hell did you put that misfit for a giveaway?
Oh,
Dragon, help
yes.
me here, bro. Like,
I
really?
had a heart attack when I saw that. I was like,
Trip?
no.
I'm so sorry. I should have asked you guys, but
I'm
I
mad
wanted.
about it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I could sense that you both seemed a little salty when you saw that post.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I honestly would do it again, so I guess I'm technically not that sorry. I just am wanting to say it to make you feel better. But I think with Benji Space and us trying to get new holders, and I was trying to pump up Team Trip a little bit, and I wanted to give a really good trip, and I
Oh,
think I gave a really good trip.
you
That's a
did.
really, that's probably
That's
like
a really good trip.
top best ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
top 5.
Yeah, top 5 easy.
Easy.
Neil has the one that because the morning after our last reveal, he and I were in Discord for like an hour or two going through and making trades, and I traded him the Izzy that's on my Vans. I traded him that for the full on like, oh, what was it? It had the dragon and the like it was the one that was like the best that had all that crazy colorful hair. I gave him that one for my Izzy. So it's kind of like a downgrade from what Neil has, but hopefully we get a new holder.
That's my nephew was like, what is this? What is this giveaway thingy? I said that, like,
I saw
he
him
went-
comment and
yeah,
started laughing.
yeah, he went all in. He said, I want this. I said, that's for a new holder. Yeah.
I should have checked with you guys first, but
No,
Yeah.
it
you
was
can do whatever you want, but next time just do it. Like, just
Next
don't
time, just give it to me, and I'll
yeah,
give you a
a
bass.
bass.
I'll trade you a really good trip for a Baz because that is what I want in my wallet.
Just give away bazzes.
How is your
So
bass prison, bro?
Yeah.
his Baz prison is annoying because it holds more than my entire wallet.
Yeah, but have you seen how many bazzes are on the floor now? It's not that many.
I guess that's a utility right there, right? Is the Baz prison is a utility. It's so funny how many utilities we're creating in our communities now.
Yeah.
Like the whiskey will flip you off and mouth off to you utility. Benji with his feet utility.
Oh my
Dragon with
god.
the Baz. Like there's so many new utilities. It's amazing.
Yeah, remember back in the day when it was all but nothing but bass on the floor?
Yeah, and then someone decided to put a bunch on the floor and they were all Dexes, which
Oh yeah.
was ridiculous
The
because
thrift
they were
shop
the
opened up.
worst.
Oh,
The thrift
yeah.
shop. They were the
And I
worst Dexes.
and I actually DM one of the person that put it. I was like, bro, take that shit out of the floor. Nobody's gonna get it. Yeah, it's you. You know who I'm talking about. If you listen to this, take that shit out of the floor, bro. Nobody's gonna get it. Burn it.
No, nobody wants that one. There was more listed today that I looked at because they were cheap, and I'm like, no, I don't want to spend any ETH on some of those because it's like they generated with all the worst traits together,
Oh, yeah.
and it's
Mhm.
not good. Alex's humor is just wrecking our floor.
What do
To
you
say the
guys think
least.
of the pages for chapter 2 that came out? How many are there? 3?
3. They're so good.
Yeah.
I love watching Dex's like sass and attitude come to life. I told the guys that I am not sure how I feel about being able to relate to an erratic ape, but I love that fiery little shit. He just like, and when Bass told him to calm down, I was like, oh shit, it's not
Yeah.
good.
I was laughing. I
And it
can't
looks
wait.
amazing.
Yeah. I can't wait uh when they take that shot or whatever that is they got. It should be soon.
Yeah. I like how Alex dropped it.
Yeah.
Because remember in the space, he said something about doing it in 12 hours. And he said something, because he brought up that I know when he makes a post, because it's way different than how Tom does posts.
Mhm.
Like, we all can tell when Alex does a tweet. And
Yeah.
I woke up the next morning and that tweet was done. And he signed off with signing his name and said Alex. And I told him, I was like, that just made my whole day. Like, you need to take over the Misfits Twitter and just sign off on every single tweet now because that was amazing.
Oh, okay. So you know on the manga that we made fun of Trip because the rat beat him up, but then
Yeah.
Trip on that third page said that it was the guy on the roof that that knocked him down.
Yeah.
So isn't that
That sounds
weird?
like a Neil excuse though. I don't know.
It sounds
I don't know how I
like a
feel
Neil
about that.
excuse. Yeah, something that Neil would like. So, no.
So we when we were talking about the giveaway, um Chris here has been like performing magic over the last few days with this commemorative NFT that we were gonna put out with Raven. It's you know what I love about it is that you have an OG, a Genesis, and then you have a Nemesis like on either side because you've got Raven and then you've got Chris's decks together on this frame. So you've got Misfits and DeFi Elitism, and then you have the Chaotic Exposure frame or mic behind it. And there's some like little Easter eggs in there if people really look at it. But it looks, oh my God, it looks so good. I actually was online last night trying to get a poster of it because it's just, oh my God, it's so damn good. So he got that ready to go for us to do like claims for holders. So that's kind of what we were doing with the giveaway was trying to like boost the space. I know Benji and Kat's Peep Show is, oh, when this comes out, it'll be tonight, but I think their space is going to be really good this week. They really have a lot of stuff going on that space, and they do such a good job. It'll be good.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And it's a lot of changes coming, right? Super excited what you guys have planned for season 2 of Chaotic Exposure. That starts today, right? This is the first episode of season 2.
Yeah.
A little bug told me you guys have amazing guesses coming in. Like it's gonna be amazing coming soon, and also on the DeFi and Misfits, we're having changes going on. So it's season 2 for everybody, right?
Yeah. I feel like New York changed us all, and we just kind of came back and decided to kick ass together.
And on top, I don't like to be like being and setting and thing, and I just want to say that it's on the worst circumstances that we have some of our friends go through is when we should like step up, and I just want to say that in this case Neil has to deal with personal things, and we are here for him, and he would be super proud seeing you two, and I've seen on the background how much you guys how much hard it was for you guys, and how good you guys are stepping up and moving forward. It's inspiring. It's inspiring me as well, and you guys are gonna do amazing. He's gonna be super proud of you guys, and he will be super happy when he comes back. I hope I don't ruin it for him. I'm sorry,
I
Neil,
hope you
if you're
don't
listening.
either.
But you know, I'm a loose cannon. You never know what's going on. It's he is unreplaceable, but
Oh yeah.
he would be proud of me as well, being here for my friends, as he would be for me if this was me that was going on. So I just want to say you guys are amazing by just doing what you guys doing, and I know how hard you guys work on the background, and I hope everybody recognize that. And it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you guys, and for you guys to ask me to be here with you guys, it's amazing. I hope I make you guys cry. I'm trying so hard.
As you're talking, I started thinking about the episodes where we would get serious and you would be like, it's so, so sad. Why is everything so sad? And
Yeah.
immediately I'm like, I'm just going to look up so that I don't cry. And then you keep going and making it worse.
It's Neil's spirit coming into me. Like, no, Chris, make him cry.
Yeah,
No.
you're doing a good
Oh my
job.
God, Dragon left.
He does
Dragon.
this all the
He
time.
does this all the time, right?
He gets up and
Okay.
leaves. Neil used to do it all the time, and I just have to sit here and wait for them to come back. But I do love that Neil is not here and leaves the 3 worst possible people in charge.
Yeah.
To run things. This
And
we're all
this
gonna burn it to
little-
the ground.
And this little beaver that's here, I don't know his name. I don't want to be rude and call
Our
him
little
something
peanut
else.
corn.
A pinacorn, yeah. So, Dragon,
Yeah.
what's your Uber fact of the week? You normally have some facts that are super cool. What do you have for us?
Sorry, right now my daughter's trying to sing, so
Oh, please. Is she
that's
singing?
why I've been muted. She found a
Is-
microphone, like a toy microphone, and she's like trying to sing.
Singing Frozen? It's,
I think so, yeah.
She's so cute.
she's so cute.
Well, I guess it's time for the next guest.
No, I need to talk about something.
Okay.
Dragon decides to do searches this week on me and Chris on social media to try to find us on social media. And you guys know me and my real name. So like Dragon didn't even try to type in my real name. He typed in whiskey or whiskers.
Whiskers, yeah.
He types in whiskers into search engines, and then he types in, what else did you type in? Whiskers, Misfits NFT,
Yeah,
community
Whiskers.
manager.
Yeah,
He
CM.
tried to nail it down. And what did you find while trying to find me on social media?
I found a farm called the Tickling Catfish Farm.
Is that the needle thingy?
Yeah, then it's called noodling, right?
Noodling.
I think it's
yeah.
called noodling. And so he sends this video or shares this video of what noodling is. And then he goes into Misfits main chat and starts telling everyone that I was a noodling, or I did have noodling videos of me trying to catch catfish. And then he starts talking about putting, because I think Tom came in, I was like, what is noodling? And Dragon's like, it's when, what did you say to him? And he's like, we'll leave that there.
When I told him when you like sticking your hand in the holes or dark holes or something like that.
Tom says, oh, goddamn, we'll leave that right there. Like, there was nothing else he wanted to know. So if you want Dragon to search you on social media, let him know. I'm sure he can find some crazy
Oh,
shit
yeah.
on you.
I could be a really good what is it? PI investigator.
Yeah. Now I kind of want to do that. We should make that like part of our podcast is we research people and see like the craziest shit we can find. I think it would be a good idea.
I'm gonna look
Yeah.
for the dragon cousin.
Oh my god. Oh,
Chris is
I found
Chris is a
Chris's
little bit ready
like
for her.
a 5-year-old picture.
That was so cute.
That was not me.
Yeah,
It was
It
adorable.
was
With your
you.
little suspenders. It was cute.
No, that was not me. I will never dress suspenders in my life. And and white socks. No.
Oh, we'll have to
Impersonator.
post it.
Yeah,
We'll make a
we
Twitter
should.
post.
We should.
Do a poll and see if everyone thinks it's you or not.
Chris is never gonna come back. He's been like, fuck this, I'm not coming back. All right, I think now we can bring in our guests though. I'm excited about this guest because we did meet them in New York, so we'll bring them in and
Yep.
question them.
Let's go. Let's take them out of the container.
That's true.
Are they in our Discord? So we brought in Geo, the founder of Moom. Thank you for joining us. We actually got to meet him and his team when we were all at NFT NYC, which was kind of cool we've never had a guest that we've met in person and then bring onto the podcast. So this is kind of a cool experience.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Appreciate you all having me. I guess the one thing that I'll start off by saying is that I sort of feel like our friendship at NFT NYC was like one of those auto friendships, that kind of just clicked. Like the moment that I saw and met Chris and you, it was just felt natural. So of the thousands of people that were at NFT NYC,
Yeah.
We agree. Actually, it was one of the few persons when we came back and saying, and we were in the hotel or going out, and they said, we actually kind of like those Moon team guys. They were
those are highlight.
Yeah, it was our light of the day with the people we met.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah. And Neil's not here, but he was a huge fan of what you guys were doing. I think we all collectively talked about how your booth there was probably the best one that was there. It really did draw people in. And then once we got to know you guys a little bit and talk to you, and we've been in your spaces and heard you guys in your spaces, and you guys kind of say the things that we think. So I think it drew us into you a little bit with your mindset. So I think we kind of wanted to have you on so that everybody that listens could kind of experience you guys and be drawn to you too. We don't want to keep you to ourselves. We want people to know about Moons.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Can we start with you letting us know who is Moom? Who are Moom? What is it that you guys are doing?
Yeah, what is Moom? So Moom, first and foremost, the character that is the shipping container creature that you see is an intergalactic shipping container creature that is a mycelium compound. So in English, minus the lore, basically we have a storyline that takes place in, let's call it like a post-AI society. The year is 2073. Most 85% of the global population of Earth has installed a microchip in their head, known as the Fate Clarity. The Fate Clarity had a lot of important promises for improving Earth, and promise to only do good and really like unlock society and level the playing field. But in fact, at 80 or at 65% user adoption, it sort of started to have ulterior motives. And as a result, the world changed forever. This is like, in the storyline of our story, which is Moom. Moom is a story, and Moom is a platform, and Moom is a brand. Moom is also a character within the story, right? So it's kind of a we're doing a couple inceptions here, but basically, the storyline goes as follows: 15% of the global population is unchipped, and they are forced to live a life of hiding, essentially off the grid. And the majority of humans who are unchipped, they're essentially poor. They have old technology. They're living their life in hiding. They have kind of like an underground network of people that are abstaining from the society, which is this chipped sort of nullified society. If you can't tell, this is like a science fiction type of deal. And our heroes in that story are sort of like resistance leaders and rebel leaders, and they live in shipping container ports around the world. They live inside of metal shipping containers, and they live in nature, in different places, hiding from this society. And they are severely outnumbered by the rest of the chipped and this other society that they don't want to be a part of, and they are outcast. And one day in 2073, there's an event that occurs, and this is where the first chapter of our audio series, which is where the lore is being built, our audio series, we'll talk more about that later, comes into play. There is a meteor shower. Largest meteor shower recorded in the history of mankind occurs all across the world, and small fragments of these meteors break up into Earth's atmosphere and land different places. One of them is the port of Los Angeles, which is where our story begins. And the actual meteor had this mycelium, and for those who don't know, mycelium is essentially what mushrooms are spawned from. Well, I won't go too deep into that, but that you can think of it like the seed of a mushroom or the organism of a mushroom. And those mushrooms end up binding, or like the compound ends up binding with the shipping containers, which is like the crash site of where some of that meteor debris was. And that is what sets up who Moom is, because he reveals himself. He binds with the shipping container that our female hero lives in, and that's where our story really starts to shift. And that's where these people who were sort of under-enabled or underrepresented now are starting to slowly, throughout our story, hopefully get an upper edge, because now they have these crazy intergalactic creatures that are on their side versus mere humans that are chipped with AI. I know that was a shitload of information.
No, it's perfect.
Ooh,
Perfect.
that's awesome.
Thanks.
And I love that thing about the Lucian. I know a lot about mushrooms, and that makes so much sense because out there interconnected with that web that spreads everywhere, and it makes sense that he decided to have a container to actually bring it up to life. Super cool.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I mean, one of the things, you say a lot about mushrooms. I won't dare ask how. I assume you're talking about.
No, I like food. I like them cooked. No,
Yeah.
I watch a lot of Netflix. That's it.
Shiitake,
Exactly.
portobello. Yeah, those are the kind of mushrooms we're talking about, kids. Yeah, but so interestingly enough, mushrooms are, like you said, the way they communicate. Now we'll go a little nerdy here. It's actually like a network of information, right, Chris?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
what else is like a network of information? This AI implant that's in everybody's brain. So we have two sort of similar bases competing against each other.
No, we love that.
Yeah. So that's a little
And
bit about yeah.
yeah, one of the questions I had in my mind was, and I'm sure they wanted. So, what made you do this? What made Gio wanna to do something for this? Because what I have from it is that, and maybe was that why we connected so fast. I understand that energy because everything I read about of stuff that I actually connect, and the guys as well. But and I see this collective of creative people coming together and having a space to actually thrive into this environment. But what made you do this? Who is Geo, this Web3 persona, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's fair. And by the way, I guess I answered the previous question without even ever
Yeah,
telling you what Moom was, but like that's project
yeah.
shit.
It's
Let's
done.
talk about the story. Never mind NFTs, never mind blockchain, never mind any of that shit. Let's talk about the purpose, right?
Exactly.
So who is Geo? Well, I have had a pretty fortunate and extensive career in entertainment and brand building. From a very young age, I guess you could say we could use the term self-made, but really made with the help of a lot of people. Started working in the movie industry when I was really young, as a special effects artist and as a creative, and made my first venture when I was 21 or 22 years old. In that space, I had a visual effects studio in near San Francisco, California, near Silicon Valley. And I was working on, and my team was working on lots of Hollywood movies, doing special effects like Captain America, The Avengers. We worked on Harry Potter. So we were always creatively inclined, and I was creatively inclined from a young age. And then ultimately, my career advanced several years down the line, and I got into making internet brands and helping grow unique independent brands and things. So I've always had this background for creativity, but where Geo, the Web3 version of me, came from, I guess, would be not giving up on the Web2 version of me, but all throughout my career, I've always wanted to create something profoundly creative, right? And work, and I feel like I am quite creative. And working on these movies at first was my outlet. Until I realized, and that was my dream, man. Like, I wanted to be like a movie director, and then being a special effects artist and visual effects producer was like me getting closer to my dream, because it's hard to just come out and direct a movie. I mean, hats off to those who achieve it. It is achievable. But I came to the realization, even with my special effects or visual effects company, was like, they already know what every Marvel Avenger looks like. They already know what's going to happen in Captain America. As a visual effects artist, I'm not saying they're not talented. These are some of the most talented people I know on planet Earth, but they're still coloring inside a very fancy coloring book.
Yeah.
Not to diminish their art form. They're fantastic. But I was always one that wanted to create something original. Which is also then why I moved into brands and advertising and marketing, is because I found that these smaller companies, or these new companies, were trusting my vision more, right, than movies were, in fact. And that's why I went that direction, and I had a marketing company for the last 8 years that I exited like 7 months ago or something. And even then, one day I was working on a project and I was in China, and I don't know, have any of you guys been to like mainland China?
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of see like all the factories and like how all this shit is really made.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you saw that?
Not good.
Yeah, and not only like not good, but like holy shit, like this is not only not good, but like this is how it all happens.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
It strikes you. It strikes you, yeah.
Yeah, it strikes you, right? And it's like I remember I was at a factory and I saw like a bus of a bus, I mean like truckload of like beautiful white geese coming in, right? To this factory, okay? And I was there for a job. I was creative directing something, and they just so happened to have a factory, and I needed to film something in China at this time. This is in 2014, 2013, 2014. And a bus of these white geese came in, and I'm over here like an idiot. Like, oh, that's so cool. All these beautiful birds are coming in. Yeah, they're all coming in to be slaughtered and plucked so that they can be turned into pillows.
Yeah.
Dang.
Like that's the reality of that
Yeah.
shit, you know?
Yeah.
And that was my naive
Yeah.
wait, like I guess it was like an awakening, right? To see that with your own eyes. And then another thing I saw that was interesting was there was a pile of screws, like just like a screw that you would screw into anything, like an IKEA screw that you would use to, whatever, a small screw. And there's like an 80-year-old Chinese man sitting on top of a mountain of these screws. Like it must have been like 5 million screws, right? And I don't know how many it is to make a mountain of screws. And the dude is like, he's sitting there with a sandpaper grit Dremel tool, polishing off the top of each screw head just to make the screw shiny.
Wow.
It's like, whoa. And this dude was there for 12 hours because I was there for 12 hours. And I'm like, wait a sec. I thought that was like the mold or like just the shit was made by robots or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It's
so
a
now
very
it's an eye-opening experience, right? And in a way, seeing people like, I don't know, I could go very deep on this China trip. It doesn't matter. A lot of crazy things happened, including, I'll shorten it down, including me being driven across the country by these two girls that worked for the factory who were like the upper echelon of factory workers because they spoke English and they could mingle with like the boss of the factory and us Americans or whatever. And, I'm talking to them and then I come to the realization they don't even know what a dream is. So that's in a way that's like they didn't know they didn't understand what the concept of having a dream was. Like we live in this factory, our dream is to be doing is we don't have a dream. They didn't understand it. And when I explained to them what it meant to have a dream, they both started crying for like an hour in the car.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
It's like
It's sad, man.
so yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Like it's sad to talk about. Like I actually hate talking about it. But usually good art comes from a good place. Or an emotional place, right?
But isn't this what we're like doing here, right? We're trying to change that conception, but it's a consequence of consumism. It is there. We need to consume. They have a product. They will do whatever it takes, right? But isn't this what we're trying to do to get a fairer place? Technology is evolving. We can have more time to do happier stuff, do some art for a while, and I
think so.
Yeah. I
think that's the Web3 mentality. I think that that's one of the reasons that Web3 is existing and is cool. There are a group of people, and you mentioned that we all kind of like vibed and clicked right away. It's like there's a group of people that feels that way, and you kind of know what's up. You know who's who. You know, and for me, you ask what's Moom like. Again, not talking about NFTs, not talking about the tech, because there's a whole tech side to what this thing is that we'll get into. But like, I want it to, above anything else, me and my partner Blam, who's a fantastic art director. He's been the art director at every company I've ever had, and he's my right hand man, my partner. It's his artwork that you see. I did not draw the characters, right? It's his stuff. It's my ideas, and our shorthand is so good that we create together like a team. Yeah. But we just want to bring people. The main purpose of Moom is worldwide collaboration to create a brand larger than life and to give people the experience of joy of being an artist. The joy that you experience, right? Like I'm looking in your bedroom right now and I'm like, I know this guy in his art and what he does experiences joy through what he's doing. And it's am I or an abundance of emotions, right? Of course.
I experience an abundance of emotions. Exactly.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. An abundance of emotions. And I think that you don't know, I'm trying to think, like, you don't know what joy is unless you know what those other things are, right? Yeah. But if we can give people the opportunity through their technology, through modern technology, to experience a moment of feeling creative and a part of something bigger, then we're doing something better than most companies are.
I agree.
And so that's the most important thing about our mission. And then back to China, which is the way it's a shipping. Here's why it's a shipping container creature. So me and my the guy I was with, my friend I was with there, I think we were sitting at the port of Hong Kong waiting for a layover for our flight. And you guys have been to China, so the port of Hong Kong is like every shipping boat ever is like, you look out and it's like, I don't know how many miles. I can't even tell you how many miles of boats and containers and all this. And I just made some silly comment. and I was like, man, what if every single one of those containers had a monster inside of it? Like, how fucked would we be? Like, I said something stupid like that. And then then I'm on the plane and I'm like starting to sketch because I'm not great at drawing. Like my partner Blam is, but like I start sketching. Shipping containers easy. It's a rectangle. I start drawing rectangles with like monsters in them. Just I'm bored on a flight. It's like a 12-hour, 14-hour flight back to Cali, I think. And I'm like thinking to myself, all right, if these creatures were a brand, like I could imagine it in my head. I could imagine exactly what it looked like. I just didn't have the physical ability to bring it to life on paper. But one of the things that I wanted to do, I remember one of the only things I could draw when I was a kid was that thing. I don't know if you had this, the Stussy S. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like the S with the lines on your binder. Kids make it. They make an S.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Oh yes.
We all did that, right? You just draw it all over your schoolwork and stuff.
Does that make me an artist?
Yes, Dragon.
Cool.
I mean,
why not?
technically, if you're, I think Chris can answer. Chris is obviously the artist in the room, but
Art is not about skill is important, but it's not about whatever you do. It's expression of what you felt in the moment you touched that paper. and
That's
what
true.
you
I
tried
bet
to
I
express
was
in the
looking at broccoli, some dude painting broccoli, so yeah.
facts, man. Art is more of the action than it is the the skill. In my opinion.
I agree.
So I was like, how do I make something that like a kid that's as shitty at drawing as me could make? And so like that was my mentality. It's like, how do I make something that like a million kids could draw without any talent, right? And I'm like, all right, well, an M kind of looks like a claw, an O or 0 kind of looks like eyes. So if I just did like M00M, it's like a monster's eyes and claw. Yeah, exactly. You just did the thing with the hands. It's like that with the eyes, right?
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
And so I was like, well, if I can draw it, they could draw it. Because I'm very creative, but when it comes to drawing, I'm the fucking worst.
It's
But
just time.
yeah.
Telok, I like them, and it's something maybe I would never thought about it. That's why we were talking about. I was looking at it like, this is insane. This is why it's so good. What the fuck? Like, do a container guy like a container, and but after reading and you telling those things, it makes so much sense,
Yep.
right? It makes so much sense, and
Dude, my dream house is made out of containers. Like I've always
Let's
wanted a house
go.
out of containers. After
Me
seeing
too.
Tron, you remember on Tron, like his house was like a stack of 3 containers, I think it was.
Yeah, it was dope. Right?
After that, I was like, oh, dude, I want that.
You're giving them a business model idea to have on the side, starting to build those container houses, like ship it to
Yeah.
you, designed by amazing decor and
Or-
Oh
artists.
man.
do we have that? Or do we? I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
Yeah, but no, for real. I've always loved shipping container homes too. And so that, and then my other part of it is like almost everything you've ever owned in your modern life has either had itself in a shipping container or its components in a shipping container at some point, which is also kind of a wild thought. So these stupid, these stupid pieces of metal have probably more meaning than meets the eye,
Yep.
So yeah, so our characters, we have some characters in our series that are shipping containers. I mean, and that's what the NFT side of it is. We're building a brand, right? We're building a brand that is an entertainment property. It starts off as an audio series where we build the lore. People in our community can vote on the storyline. For example, for each episode, they can shift the narrative, they can submit ideas, and then I go out and I write the story. And then all the voices in the show are community people that have found us from the community. Even the girl that was with us, even the girl that was with us at the booth. Do you remember the girl with the red hair?
Yeah, Dragon
she had her
remembers
own
her.
like character.
Oh, I remember. I mean,
Yeah. So
I also remember. What's his name? You guys call
Lion.
him Lion? Oh my
Lion,
God,
yeah.
that guy's gorgeous.
we were saying how beautiful you guys all are, right? It was beautiful. You are a handsome gentleman yourself, and they were like talking about you look like this UK scar bad boy, like
Yeah.
super awesome.
Not that we're that shallow, but we did kind of look a little bit longer than probably most.
I mean, I don't know why our team is so ridiculously good looking. It was,
It's a terrible problem to have, isn't
Terrible
it?
problem.
I mean, even when you see when the main character in our story, her name's Gold Star, and she was not with us because she's in
Oh,
she's in Japan, but she's actually like
real?
unknown. Oh yeah, she's real. She's a real
Oh
person.
my! Shut up.
She's real, and we haven't doxed her yet, but she's actually a touring.
Okay.
She's like a touring musician that is like very well known in the Japanese underground scene. And like she's a
Wow.
legit super talented artist. I mean, and she's the main character and the main voice, our female hero. So, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely like the ugliest person of our group, for sure.
That's
But,
okay. I feel that deeply. On all my teams, I'm probably the ugliest one of all of them anyways. It's okay. I
Untrue.
get it.
Okay.
Untrue. All right, we'll stop feeling sorry for ourselves. But But yeah, so my point was about Juliet. Juliet is the name of the human who plays the character Masai, who is the evil AI in our show, the redhead girl that you met in NYC. My point was even she found us through a Web2 channel, and she has a TikTok. She's like 400,000 followers on TikTok. She's a weaponry expert, like a firearms expert, and like all this stuff.
Damn.
She's like
Really?
fucking. She's like John Wick. If like if
What
That's
is-
hot.
What's her TikTok?
Chris is like, let me look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Juliet, Juliette, Surau, Sureau.
Wow.
And so like everyone that's part of the show found us, except for Gold Star, who's my friend, obviously. Like she's a partner with us, but every other voice you hear is someone from crypto Twitter, from NFT Twitter. Every like I produce probably like 30% of the music in the series that scores the audio series, and then other people submit music that they've created. The sound effects is someone who found us on Twitter, and they do the sound design. So it's community made in that sense, and that's
Cool.
that's the spirit of the brand, right? Like voting, community. Ultimately, we want to make it a platform where we can reward the creators that help us build this new brand. Our promise as a business is once we launch our NFTs, like we haven't sold anybody anything, right? Once we launch our NFTs, we're only going to hire people that are holders. So it's like a members club. And because like real businesses need people to make things happen, right? And real businesses pay people to make things happen. So the idea is you're creatively inclined, like, y'all are in this club. Chris, we need something created. We need something done. Why would we hire someone else when we can hire somebody that loves the creation itself? Like, and give them an opportunity, right? Like that's the philosophy. And I think that's like the Web3 mentality, right? Obviously we have to have revenue.
Yeah. I love that
Go
you
ahead,
guys
Vincent.
are kind of doing it backwards than everyone else. Everyone starts their NFTs and then start working, and you guys are kind of starting your stuff and then going to the NFT.
Thanks, man.
So,
I hope
that's
that other people
awesome.
feel that way. I hope that the audience feels that way, because
And then
it's
on
tough.
top of that, you get loyal people getting your NFT, which is even better.
You can tell you guys are good at branding, and you guys are good communicating, right? It's just something you can tell about that. But anyway, I think we actually wanted to know more about like the NFT. What's NFT? Like those technical things, so people can actually learn about it, and we want to learn more about it because we want to actually talk with our community about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Whiskey, did you have like specific questions, or should I just like blah blah blah?
More of we were talking about when you guys were going to be doing minting and stuff. I don't think I knew how far you were from that to where people could kind of be following along and be on the lookout for it.
For sure. So we're going to mint this summer. The exact date has not been announced. We're actually in the middle of putting together something very special for how you mint the collection. which is part of our roadmap item that we call the Singularity. Singularity is a multi-step item, but to experience the first part of the Singularity in order to mint, it's pretty cool. It's actually really, really fucking cool. So that's something that we're working really hard on right now. But there's going to be 7,777 shipping container creatures, or mooms, if you want to call them that. They are on Ethereum, and these mooms will act as your access pass to our community, that helps shape the brand. Right now, anyone that's in our Twitter group chats and community alpha chats or whatever, it's like our whitelist alternative. Everyone that's we don't like whitelists or allow lists very much, or at least not the concept of grinding for them. We think that's like super fucking stupid. So what we did is we're like, yo, you like the project, you're creative, you like the show, we're gonna put you in these Twitter group chats that we call containers. They're like invite only chats. And that's the allow list, because it means you care about the project and you're an active member of the community. I forget where I was going exactly with that.
That's cool. When you're talking about community and stuff, because this is something that we all have projects that we're a part of. I mean, obviously, you know, Chris with DeFi Elitism and his brand that he's got going on. And then with the Misfits and stuff, like collectively, we all are involved in this. And community has been like the biggest thing that I think sometimes people kind of don't put the focus they need to on communities. And I know when we heard you talk about community and stuff, that was something that drew us all in a little bit too, because we kind of feel the same with the value of your community. What have you found to be the most successful way to connect with people and build that community?
Yeah, for sure. Community is very important, and it's actually the most important thing, in my opinion. And I think that the brands of tomorrow in general, so along the lines of what you guys are doing, brands, projects, artists, whatever it is, did Dragon had to drop? Sorry, I just saw Dragon left.
His daughter might have needed something. We do this, it just, you know.
Yeah,
he's there.
I'm sorry. I had to switch rooms.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
My daughter started singing.
That's cute. So how have we built? I would like to say, first of all, I want to like give a shout out to our community, because they're what's empowering everything that's going on. They're the reason that I actually made the final decision, even though it was small at the time. They're the reason I made the final decision to exit my last company, to pursue this crazy ass idea of making shipping container creatures that have a sci-fi story in the first place. Because I started by putting one audio episode out, and like just started. I was a reply guy on Twitter, right? Like Moom's account was, I don't have a Twitter. Moom's account was a reply guy on Twitter, and then people would come to the profile and they'd maybe watch the first episode, and people were just like, yo, this is kind of good. Like slowly but surely, people were like, what? This is a good message. This is that you guys are, you know, are cool or whatever. And I think for a long time, people didn't realize that Moom wasn't a person. It was a project, right? For the first like 3 months of it, probably. The community was built via storytelling. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on is valuing people and their opinion. To the point where, how did we build it? We're not like enormous in terms of, you know, like some projects have like, I don't know, like 100,000 followers, where we have like almost 4,000 followers, but we also have almost 5,000 followers on TikTok. We have 1,000 followers on Instagram, and we get like 5,000 streams per episode. Because people, you know, we have 1,000 people in these shipping container chats throughout, in our different groups that we have, in our app that we have. But to me, the community is literally the most important part, because that was why, that to me, the thing that would be like, if I talk about my ego for a second, and how I don't care about fancy Hollywood movies or celebrities or fancy cars, and I guess it's easy for me to say because I've been around those things. I'm not trying to devalue people who want those things or anyone's aspirations. But as a founder, my motivation isn't personal. Well, okay, first of all, I'll caveat this. I want, of course, making money is part of the plan. Let's be straightforward. But personal enrichment upon minting NFTs is not my plan. My plan is, how do we build an entire, how do we make $100 million company that is the coolest thing, that's made by the people, that benefits the people, that like, that would be what my ego craves, building something that everyone loves together. Like that's what, I don't know how to, maybe I'm not articulating it right, but
Yeah. But don't
that's,
worry. We
You're
have the
doing
same
awesome.
mentality. We understand correctly because we feel the same.
I'm
I mean,
getting
that's
too
amazing.
excited here. I'm getting
And
hot and bothered.
and like Dragon, you said that too. That was one of the things that you said earlier, where you're like, you guys started making stuff. You took like a backwards approach in this industry, and like that's why I know we're all on the same page with what like the values of this new industry are. And like, to be real, we all have the chance to lead an industry. I mean, how often can you actually say that? And we've all been burned, I assume.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I assume, and I think the reason we drew community in, to your point, Whiskey, was like, literally, we know everyone on a first name, if not first name basis, at least their Twitter handle basis, and we pay attention and we talk and we invest all the hours of our day because we actually care. It's pretty simple. It's like, you can't manufacture authenticity because then it wouldn't be authentic. We just like this is a stage of our lives that we're trying to put our best selves out there and share things with people and make something unlike anything they've ever been able to be a part of, or I don't even think anything like our idea exists. Maybe different pieces here and there of it exist, but like bringing it all together. Like there's someone in our community who her name is Kenzie. Literally, I think, what was it the other day? Like her daughter like draws our stuff, and they like it's on her refrigerator, and that's so
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Like that's what motivates us to do it. Like that's like the coolest thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
I mean, more than any celebrity I've ever worked with. That's way cooler to me.
Yeah. I think that's again like what kind of drew us to you too. I mean, you can hear what's important to people when they talk about stuff, what they get excited about, with their excitement levels depending on what it is. You guys with your community and what you're doing, how you're doing this, it's so unique, but your focus and what excites you is kind of what excited me to have you guys on, just to kind of open that door a little bit more. When you're talking about your community, and I think I'm trying to like write notes as you're talking, but when you said something about community is what empowers everything that's going on, I think is what you said. There's things that like
I don't
with
know, it sounds like me.
it sounded good, right? I think that's the kind of stuff that draws me into some of these projects and brands that are happening, because you really start to see the people behind the business. There's that genuine, like you were talking about, being authentic. There was a speaker at NFT NYC that actually spoke with Chris, and she said something about communities and projects and how it's a two-way street. I think that there's a lot of times that as us on this side of things trying to work and create things and put stuff out and work hard, you feel like you're just constantly giving sometimes, and the community and who you bring in and who's there with you can really keep you going. And it's just as important for them to put in the effort and engage and show up every day just as much as it is for us. So when you build that community
100%.
and you've got that foundation,
that's so true.
it's
That's a really
vital
good point.
to keep going. Yeah.
It's a really good point. I mean, the fact that there are human beings showing up, and I say this at the end of every Twitter space we have, it's like, dude, your time is your life. So the fact that you give us some of it is like, what better gift could there be, right? Like,
Exactly.
So I'm with you on that for sure.
It's a two-way street gratification, right? You give to them and they give to you as a reward, right? And that's how you keep going. That's how you fuel everything. It's not just give me. What are you giving back, right?
For sure. And one of the interesting things that I ask myself, even though we're not there yet, is like, when we get to scale, because I published the mission on our Twitter, which was to inspire the creativity of millions of people, as the mission of the brand, right? And I go, well, so then how do we, and maybe this is a question for you guys, and I have a thought on it, but I'd like to hear y'all's take on it too. When you get to a scale, let's say there are millions of people. As an artist, there are millions of people who love your work. Like, I don't know, I'll use a terrible pop culture mainstream example. And I don't, obviously, she doesn't care at this level, so it's a bad. Lady Gaga, there are millions of people who she has these they call their they call their community little monsters. She has millions of people who like care about her and her art form, and you know, congratulations and all respect to that. But at scale, how do you as an artist care about your community when it's absolutely impossible to speak to a million people on a one-on-one interpersonal relationship? How do you do that? And I'd be curious to hear from you, because we're all on a similar wavelength. And I'll shut up, but yeah.
For me, one of the reasons I kept it small, it's all about, I get the only happiness I can have, and if I scale and I have millions of people loving what I'm doing, I just hope that they're loving it because they can feel the actual message that it is. So they are getting rewarded for what I'm doing, right? They can feel the mission, they can feel the effort that was put in, and by me delivering something that will provoke an emotion on them, if it doesn't matter if it's one, if it's a million, right? That's my way of communicating with them, and them will communicate with me by buying my product, by going and see my art, by sharing my stuff, right?
Well,
So
that's a very honest thing you just said. That's a very interesting thing. You're saying by them buying your product, your intent behind it is your way of communicating with them.
it,
Is that am I understanding what?
to like a scale where you have a scale where if I have a small community, and that community will always be something that I can relate and actually like you were saying, I know everybody first name, right? I know about them everything, right? I spend time with them every day, right? I try to know them and I try them to know me, right? So we build this relationship. When you try to scale, it's like impossible, right? But I have a way of sending my message on, right? So I have people that want those things. Like, how can those millions of people show that not only they are supporting me, but they got my message, right? In the end of the day, I'm doing something not only that is metaphysical, but it's also a physical product, right? I have to eat, I have a brand, I have stuff that is going out, right? What's the best gratification? What's the metrics that you will see that people are enjoying what you're doing? Is getting scalable. You're getting a million of people buying your like product, right? So I understand that art of communication is different. Lady Gaga, right? She speaks with everybody loves her because of the way that she expressed herself, of her music, right? Hopefully that music means something to her and means something to those people. They actually can relate to it. That's how we scale. You have all these people that are in the different tag, a different not going to call marketing analysis on it, but like they're just relating to it, and the only way that you can scale is for me is that way, and it's like I can see if they're enjoying, and I can see if they're enjoying, right? It has to be an action. If they're silent, I don't know if they like it, right? So you have to have all those metrics of a like, thank you, you made me feel good today, whatever. It doesn't mean like just buying the product, but just being there and saying like, you changed something on me, like I actually made a reaction on you, and you also are making one of me by every single thing. It's overwhelming for us because we are one and they are millions, but it's still there, but it's a complicated subject.
I think that's why I like the DAO style when it comes to projects moving forward too, because I know for the founders with the Misfits, I mean, they're not able to be where everyone needs them to be all the time. And we're not even like full scale, like humongous. It's, you know, there's only so much time and so much you can put in, and as you grow, you don't multiply as you grow. You don't get more whiskeys the more misfits we get in Discord, which would be terrible to have multiple whiskeys, by the way, just say that. But if you did and you had multiple people, you know, that's there. But I think when it comes to listening to the people that you're working with, listening to the communities, listening to people that are buying into what you're trying to sell and make accessible, the at least for a DAO style, you have people that are coming in and giving their opinions. And once that opinion or that expression of themselves is, they see it's valued and it's heard, because maybe you changed something because of what input they gave, or something like that, to where they start to see that they're giving their opinions or they're expressing themselves to you. You're in turn taking that and putting it out there to change maybe how the story's told, maybe
Because you're
what
listening,
color
basically.
branding, or I mean, you're adjusting yourself and your brand and your project, everything, because it's, at the end of it, it's not about us. It's not about any one of us. It's, you're doing it for other people. So if you're not listening to them, then why the fuck are you here, right?
No, I agree. I think you both have really good perspectives on that. Like, I agree with you, Whiskey, and Chris. Actually, you gave me a perspective that I did not really have. I didn't have, in a sense, that like the product, because your intention behind it is a good intention. People buying it, that's how you're expressing it. Whereas, like you said something interesting about Lady Gaga. Hopefully, the things that she creates have meaning to her. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So, but your things you create have meaning to you. So therefore, every single transaction that occurs is your way of sharing that meaning with others, and hopefully they appreciate it. So, like, I think that's, and I think that's applicable. I mean, I was going to say something a little different.
You can see it both ways, right? Even
Yeah.
I look at your project. You can look at mine. You can look at whatever. I look at your project, and in the end, it's, I really like what you guys are doing. How can I help, right? And the way that I can help you guys putting that to life is actually minting that NFT and giving you guys the resources to put it out. Because in the end, I believe I will want to actually consume everything you guys are putting in the future. Because I will have, even if it's monetary, if it's not, I will have some kind of gratification to it. I like the mission, whatever it is. I want to help you guys making that possible, and you guys can do it because this is your idea. You guys gonna lead it and make it to actually come live, and then after, when you actually scale, it's a totally different game, right? It's totally different.
For me, when it comes to scaling, my hope is that if you understand our product and you understand our story and you're a member of our community, then you also understand our values, and the way that we communicate, and the way we inspire. And hopefully at scale, it doesn't necessarily have to be me saying these things. It could be you saying these things on behalf of the project as a member of the community, that is transferring that feeling of passion to the next person as well. And that's how maybe at scale it could maintain its authenticity. Because but I agree with everything else you're saying too. It's funny. I had this realization. I don't remember when it was. Maybe it was like a couple of years ago, where basically you're and we're getting, now I'm going to get a little existential, but like the most valuable thing on earth is your time. It is your life, right? So because you work as a human, people who are working for money are exchanging their time, their life, for money. As a consumer, you have to be very careful. When you have this realization, you have to be very careful of where you're putting your money, because in effect, your money is actually a subsect of your life, because it took your time to get your money. So therefore, you're trading your real gold, which is your life, for fool's gold, in a sense, which is a product, unless the product is meaningful.
Yeah.
And I think once you understand, like for me, when I had that thought, and I wrote this down, I remember having that thought, and I was like, I need to adjust the entire way I'm living my life. Not just the way I spend money, but the entire way I live my life, even when it comes to, and at certain points for me as an agency owner, as a marketing agency owner, those values were sometimes in conflict with one another, right?
Exactly.
I think that's also going back to what I think maybe it was a Dragon who asked, I don't know, maybe it was Whiskey who asked, apologies, was what inspired me to actually jump into doing this, was that it doesn't necessarily come from a place of commerce. It comes from something bigger that, Chris, to your point, is being fulfilled through commerce in a sense, but that's not the main objective
Oh
here.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like we only have the tools that are around us to enable us to be successful. And in this case, in this reality that we live in, money is one of those tools, right? So, so yeah, I think that's interesting. I think I think a lot of artists, probably true artists, have had that realization a lot long before I did. You know, it might have been late to the game, but I think a lot of people have not had that potentially.
No, you can, and you see all this like it's much more than that, right? And like even if I see my ideals in the stuff that I'm trying to build, it's all about social awareness, equality, about I don't need to scale to that amount of things. For me, having a simple life, just having my children to have food and we have eat and all those things, for me it's enough. It's more than that, right? It's about equality. It's about a friendship. It's about making the world a better, a fairer place. And maybe I will not do it, but if I have a way of spreading that message or advocating for those ideals, this is what I'm doing here, right? This is what I'm trying to do. Like again, time is limited, right? So why why can you not do both? And now, like we are saying, we have an opportunity to actually disrupt the actual system, actually do something that is meaningful as a community where everybody can benefit and have those things together as empowering artists like you guys are doing, and all of those things. So it's very subject on the terms of what you're actually trying to do, right? So
Yeah.
it's art.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's very interesting. I like this show. We kind of like got off on a total tangent into other stuff, which is cool.
Yeah,
uh,
that's
It's
we don't really
chaos.
have a we don't really have a layout. We just kind of wing it and see what the guest wants to throw out at us and try to keep it going. But you've been a lot of fun to have on.
Yeah.
This has been enjoyable. I do have a question, not related specifically, but mildly, because we were all at NFT NYC. We obviously have a lot of stories that we've talked about on our last episode. Some things we didn't talk about on the episode because,
I listened to
it
your
just
episode.
shouldn't.
I listened to it.
Okay.
This morning.
Some things weren't aired for reasons. But I want to know, did you guys or your team have any wild stories or any cool after parties or anything that you guys really like stood out to you collectively that you just absolutely loved?
measure 12
Shoot.
before saying.
No, not even. Like, honestly, like we went to these after parties, we went to these events physically, but I don't think we were really like mentally there.
Yeah.
Because we would because as a sponsor, right, with that booth, we would get there at like 8 o'clock in the morning, at like 8:15 in the morning every morning. We would leave there by like 7:30 every day, and then we'd go get dinner, and then we'd be out, and then we'd be out till 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning. Like I said, not mentally present very much.
Yeah.
And then we would get back to our hotel. By that time, it was 4:35, and then we'd sleep for 2 hours and go give everybody all of our energy.
Yeah.
Right. So the Lion of Web3, Lion, he's our director of communications. He might have some other stories that I don't have, but like for me,
Oh, I'm sure he does.
he does. He probably does. I don't know. I don't have any groundbreaking story. I just think for me the coolest thing about it was just getting to meet people like yourselves. Like my takeaway from NFT NYC was probably seeing the people that we talk to on Twitter, who are just cartoons, but like as people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else. I was so just focused on meeting people, talking to people, listening to people. That's all I got. Like, and to me, when I say that's all I got, I mean, I think that's everything that we wanted. out of that situation. So
I don't think people realize how like brain draining must be being 4 days, all those hours, and having to chat, like talk with all those people, and trying to keep the same energy, right? Because sometimes it's not that you want to be rude or something like that, but it it brings
yeah,
a toll
for
on
sure.
you. And I think you guys were always smiling. That's something I know. I'm glad you're doing. And because it must be horrible, like getting in the end of the day and still having to go to these events afterwards, and then still have to socialize because you're trying to spread your message out there. That's why you're there, right? That's why you're spending that money too. But it
Yeah.
must be horrible. Like in the end, like
It was rough, man. It was rough.
it was rough. Not
It
saying
took me a
horrible because it's,
week.
yeah,
No, it
but
was
it's bad.
beautiful, but horror. Like, you know what I mean? It was beautiful, but
Yeah,
horrible in a sense of like,
yeah.
you're right. It was at the end, at the last day on Friday. And by the way, I went out Friday night till like 4 a.m. again on, but not even doing, I don't even remember. I didn't, what did I do? I don't know.
That's
I don't
okay.
know.
We don't remember much either,
Yeah.
but
I
for
don't know
different
where we
reasons.
all get the energy, right? You say I'm so
Yeah.
tired, but
Yeah.
then at 4 o'clock we're still like, okay,
Yeah. I was
the
like, all right,
body's
let's go.
moving, the body's
Um,
moving.
yeah. So like for me, at
Yeah.
the end of Friday, guys, like literally, I had lost my voice. My neck was, my, what is it called? Whatever your lymph nodes or whatever were in so much pain that I was like literally like grabbing my throat to be able to talk to people. Like
Jeez.
I'm serious. I was in like a lot of pain, and at the end we had taken the whole booth down, and there was still like 7 people in line that were trying to talk to us, and I was like, holy shit! Like I'm like grabbing my throat. Like is it not obvious that I am not capable of doing this anymore? But also, I am so thankful that that's my problem, right?
Yeah.
Like it was weird. I was like,
Good
"Oh my
problem to
god,
have.
guys!" I was like, "Can you guys please?" In my mind, I'm like, it's like this. It was this battle of like, "Leave me the fuck alone," but also, "Don't leave me alone," because that's the whole reason we're here. You know?
Yeah.
Oh.
So do you
Yeah.
guys have plans to go next year to set up or to go just for whatever?
We're gonna meet in Lisbon. Guys coming?
I have an email in my inbox from the guys from Lisbon. I have to figure out if we can responsibly make that
Do it.
happen. I know I want to do it. I know everyone. I know. But then we also have like other things as a company that we need to spend money on for the furtherance of the mission. I just got to like weigh this stuff out. But the guys at NFC, that's the non-fungible conference. Shout outs to them. I met the founder of that yesterday. He seems like a very cool, very genuine dude with a vision. You asked me would I do NFT NYC again? No.
Interesting. So why?
That sounded like a very hard no, but
No,
in
no,
reality, it's more of like a no maybe, because look, this year I think it was perfect for us, our stage of where we're at as a project. I think if you're a new project and you're looking to like break in and meet some people,
Yep.
it's worth it. But I also, and God, I don't want this to sound like a knock. It's not a knock to anyone that was there, but I was hoping there would be a more vast display of inspiration than what I saw at the conference itself. Because we did say to our community we're going to be the best booth, and we gave it our all. We gave it all of our fucking energy, and I have had
It
people
was.
tell me, thank you. Like I've had at least 100 people say you guys had the best booth at NFT NYC. And I'm like, well,
Not
okay.
counting the puppy room. Yeah.
Bro, I didn't even
Yeah.
know there was a puppy.
That
room.
stands alone. Oh my gosh. I was all over the boys the whole time. I'm like, they said there's going to be a puppy room. And we looked all over the place. And I told them that day, I'm like, I'm fudding the shit out of this because
What
the
puppy
founders
room?
said there would be a puppy room.
There's
There was a
puppy
puppy room. We finally found it.
There's always a puppy room in every NFT New York, NFT London. They always do one. It's
Found
fun. It's
it.
good.
And
It
are
was the best
dogs
part of
just
the
like-
whole conference.
Yeah,
Really?
you have all these beautiful girls just playing around with dogs. It's super
Yeah.
cool.
It's like we definitely found where all the females of the conference were. They were in the puppy room, petting all
Yes,
the Doges and
they
Shiba
were.
Inus.
Well, they were
Yeah, they
cute.
were.
They had like
Mhm.
six puppies that were rescued and they were up for adoption, which was
That's
to me
cute.
genius. I guess
Mhm.
this was their second year Because
Yeah.
Dragon and I talked to the founders right after we walked out, and they were asking how things were going. We're like, I didn't tell them this, but I told Dragon, I was like, I was about to FUD them so hard on Twitter because I could not find the puppy room, and we finally found it, and it was
That's so
everything I
funny.
dreamed it would be. So I thought that was cool that they would do that, but yeah.
I missed that room. I shouldn't have, because probably that would have helped me relieve some of my stress.
Yeah.
And I was missing
Yeah,
my
that-
dogs and family at home. But
Yeah.
but no, so like NFT NYC, like would I do? I think next, would I go to New York for NFT? Would we go to New York for? Yeah, I think it would be cool to do like a flagship event, like what Raspy for a Kid Called Beast did, right? Or like what DGods did. Like I would focus our energy probably on that at a time when our community is large enough to actually enjoy that, right? To like take a stance there. I don't know if the value being an exhibitor would be present 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Whereas, but to that point, the NFC Lisbon conference, it would be a totally different group of people, I think. And then it would be value. Like, I think that is valuable. That's just like, can we actually pull it off? And this is no knock to NFT NYC. I think it did fantastic things for us as a project and as a business. And so, and I think for everybody that's out there that's like, that FUDs NFT NYC, look, I wasn't there the year before. I hear it was doper. I hear there was a better show of projects and brands in terms of that were there. But ultimately, I got two things I would say. It's recorded, whatever. I think it should be less expensive for the person attending, because I think if they dropped that ticket price to $150 or $100, there were so many people that were in New York just for other things that didn't go to the conference and fudded the conference because of that. I don't know.
Yeah.
As a brand,
Yeah.
I would have liked
It's
to have
expensive.
access to those people.
Yeah.
And I think
Well,
that, like shout
I
outs to
wonder
the
how
brands that
much-
show up though.
Yeah. Well, they need all that money for the Times Square stuff.
Oh, you mean all the media buys they did in Times
Yeah.
Square?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Those media buys
Yeah.
are not cheap.
So I think at this point, is there anything else that you want to tell your listeners before we have to let you go? Is there anything else that you want people to know?
Well, I think I did an absolutely terrible job describing what the project is about. So
I don't think so.
No?
No.
Okay. I was gonna say I'll take the ownership of that, because there are so many layers to what we're doing, and it's like we're making an animated series. The audio series is going to get adapted into an animated series. You're going to get to be in a production type environment where we actually take meetings and you can actually help build an original animated series. That's exciting. Didn't speak anything about it. There's also an entire digital world element of it that we haven't disclosed, of like, how does this work? What is it exactly? But no, I mean, I honestly, I think that's it. I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you all. Y'all are super cool. And anyone out there who's interested, who wants a good story, who wants to fill up 12 minutes a week or a day with our content, it's usually about 12 to 14 minutes long. There's a story out there that's waiting for you. So that's what I would say.
And where can those people find you guys? Where are
Yes.
your media outlets?
Yeah, so the easiest, like, you can find us on every single platform. Like, we're on Spotify, Apple, YouTube is an easy outlet. You would just search M00M, Moom Theater. You can go to our website, m00m.world/story, and then you can find every platform, because we're on every single platform. We're on Amazon, we're on Google, we're on, like every podcast platform that there is, much like you guys. I think you are as well. Yeah, but I would say if you want to find us and talk to us and get involved in the community, Twitter is the best place,
Absolutely.
Seems like all of Web3 lives on Twitter, so that's where we're at.
Sadly,
That's
we're
true.
all just kind of stuck in our own little containers together.
We're all contained together. Yeah.
Thank you again for coming on. We genuinely
Yeah,
we
thank
met a
you.
lot of people when we were in New York that we wanted to have on, and we were really excited about having you guys on. So
Thank
we
you.
appreciate the time.
Yeah, I appreciate
think-
you.
I think that's it for episode 26, and then we'll be back next week. Maybe Chris will join us again next week. Try to talk him into it.
Oh, so
Do
let me
you-
ask this question before you all bounce.
Yeah.
So who is on this every week? Because I heard NFT NYC, which Chris was on. Is Chris not on this every week? How does that for those who
No.
don't know? Because we're going to share that this might be the first episode that they're listening to of your podcast, and we share it with our audience. Tell us more.
No, I'm normally was Neil, and I'll let them talk. I have my own thing, but I was a guest on them, but I let them explain. Better.
Neil's our third co-host, and
Gotcha.
this really was his whole idea. The podcast
he's
was
not
his
here
idea.
today.
He had to take a step back a little bit, and so we are just trying to do him proud and keep going and be here when he can get back. But Chris was generous enough to step in and help us out, and he brings his flavor to the episodes that we love. So yeah, you did meet Neil.
I know. I have Neil in my phone. Like, I know who Neil is. That's why I was like, oh, he's not here.
Yeah, he was excited to have you guys on too. So
Yeah.
when he listens, hopefully he's super proud of the episode. But
I think they
We'll have
did
to
you
have you on
proud,
again when
Neil.
he's
They
on.
did you proud.
You're gonna love it.
And yeah, it's funny because when I first saw Dragon, I was like, wait, that's not Neil. I was like, is Dragon Neil's name online? I got confused.
Same person.
That's
No.
cool. Thank you all so much again, for
You're
real.
welcome.
It means a lot.
Send the best to all of your team. You guys did amazing.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure to meet you guys, and hopefully we will grow our relationship together as brands, and everybody grow like together. And send them our regards, and we wish you the best of luck for everything you guys doing.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you. We're here to support you guys as well. So appreciate your time. And
appreciate it.
I'm sure we'll see you every day and every GM on Twitter from here on out.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
Bye, y'all.
Geo, send nudes.